Warning, this rant just expresses what a million die-hard anime taco nerds felt when they watched this remake garbage filth poop swamp that has worse acting than an 8-bit Atari game. Let's dive right in. Alright brother, when you first watched the Death Note trailer, you realize, wow, this is a steaming pile of poop.
Shots fired! Shots fired!
But then you start to think maybe they're trying something new. They're going in a new direction, something that Japan could not get done. But you look at your Light Yagami wallpaper and you realize how amazing the anime was. And this is literally just pooping all over the name of Death Note and its creator. But you give it a chance, like a first blind date. You start watching it. You get madder. You get madder. You get even madder. Ah! So take animation, make it all 5D. But it's another thing, brother, to just have a bad movie. And that's what we have here, a bad movie. First of all, the story just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense for Ryuk to be dropping his Death Note left and right. In fact, he is a demigod. He is a god of death. Why does he give two craps what humans do? You know? There's no backstory to tell him why he does this like we get in the anime. So brother, why even have him drop the Death Note in the first place? But enough about that. Let's talk about our main drama queen here. And that is Light Turner, who for the purpose of this rant, this roast, we will call him Tina Turner because he is the biggest emo drama queen that you have ever met. Alright, in the anime, they portray Light as, yeah, he's kind of a pompous jerk, but he's a genius who wants to change the world because he just wants to change the world because he's bored of it, alright? And now Ryuk has given him an opportunity to make his life 20 times more interesting. He doesn't do it for some girl. He doesn't do it for a revenge kill. He just do it because he feels like it. He doesn't need someone to push him to do things, brother. He just does it. He's a man's man. But what we have here, brother, I cannot stand for it. We just have an emo punk, all right? An emo punk nerd who can't stand up for himself, who can't even make other friends, all right? He tries to act all tough. He tries to act all cool because he's all emo and people just don't understand him. Like the interaction between him and his father is exactly what I get from an emo punk. Someone who actually tries to understand him and the emo's like, nah, man, you just don't understand me because I'm emo. And that's exactly what I get from Light. And the reason for his mass killing of 400 people was because, you know, he wanted to clean the world and all that stuff. And the movie does a terrible job of portraying that. When I see him do this, he does this not to clean the world, not to be some overwhelming god. No, he does it to get in a girl's pants. That's the only reason that the movie really portrays to me that he does this, is to get in a girl's pants. Not to clean the world, not to be some type of god. No, to get in a girl's pants. And I can't stand for that. That is a terrible way to tell a story, brother. And I know every single person who watched the original Death Note feels that way. And brother, don't get me started on L. Now L, his character was actually pretty interesting. They actually tried to give him some sort of backstory, the way that Watari was being manipulated. But overall, the L train, I was on the L train up until Watari died, and then he lost all aspects of L. He was no longer L, he was a calm, cool, collective. He didn't have this calculated, no. He was acting like an arrogant child who just wanted to prove everyone that he was right and the other dude was wrong, and he was basically doing anything and everything to make sure that he achieved his end goal. Not using evidence, not using anything else, just waving a gun, chasing down like halfway across the damn Seattle metropolitan area just to bring him to justice, which really wasn't justice. It was his self-proclaimed justice. He didn't try to figure out why Light was doing this, why why he became Kira, none of that. He just wanted the revenge kill of Watari, which for a normal human being, that makes sense. But for L, who is not a normal human being, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to his character. It doesn't really it shouldn't cause that much of a dramatic shift the way how L's character was presented to us to make such a critical and exponential change in character and the decisions he made. Which ultimately brings us up to the ending, which, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, he pretty much writes Light's name. Which brings me to my next point, ladies and gentlemen. The flippant Death Note itself does not even make sense. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the Death Note in the anime made sense. It had rules that made sense, and in the movie, holy crap, apparently there's over 100 rules, so I don't understand why anyone would even want to use the Death Note. And one of the most important rule that wasn't even brought up in the Death Note was, one, that bearer of the Death Note does not go to heaven or hell. In fact, they go to limbo. That was never mentioned in the movie. I thought that was a pretty important rule that should be brought up. Another thing that should have been brought up is that when you relinquish the Death Note, you should lose all memory of having the Death Note, which was an important part within the original anime. Never brought up, and I want to bring up the possession of the damn Death Note. First of all, Ryuko's like, well, only the keeper of the Death Note can flip and see me, but pretty much anyone can use the damn Death Note, because that's exactly what was going on. Anyone and everyone could just write in the Death Note. Why does it matter if you could see Ryuk or not, when anyone could just write into it? Because Light had literally people write into the Death Note. Some random chick, aka his girlfriend, I don't want to call her girlfriend, more like a psychopathic maniac, 'cause that's what she ended up being, just wrote into it, wrote Light's name to it, but yet he's the keeper of the Death Note and the only one that could see Ryuk. That's the only thing that the movie kept consistent, was that only Light could see and hear Ryuk, but everyone else could write into it. What is the point then? What's the point of being a death god and having the keeper of a Death Note, the keeper, the owner, I put in quotes, when they can flipping write into it? Perfect example, the very ending, when L wrote Light's name. He just now finds the Death Note. First time, first contact, he just write into it and kill Light. That does not make sense, ladies and gentlemen. It does not. It absolutely does not. And that pisses me off, because that's inconsistent with, if you're going to remake the anime, at least keep certain rules, or at least work around the rules to where it makes sense. This did not make sense whatsoever. It did not. And now for last points. Alright, brother, final thoughts. Brother, this movie here is absolutely not worth your time. If you're an anime fan of Death Note, brother, then you do not need to play this. You do not need to watch this, brother, at all. Alright, stay away from it. You're going to be very angry, and your inner rank guy, brother, is going to come out. Whew. Inner rank guy was strong with that one. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching this rant. If you enjoyed this, make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment down below on what you thought about this rant, let alone the Death Note in general, because I did not like this movie at all. So leave a comment on that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.